hate Mahito. I'm sorry for no, like, more over-the-top, like, oh my god, reaction. But, guys, after last week's episode ended like I did, it didn't take a rocket science to figure out what was going to happen this week. Fuck. Before we do anything else, first things first. NANAMI is a beast. We will have no NANAMI slander on this channel, damn it. NANAMI is a beast until the very end. Because I'll admit it, guys. I cried. I don't know if you can see how red my eyes are, but I cried during this episode, man. Oh my lord. Fuck Mahito. Let me just say that. Damn it. There's a lot to go over in this episode, so let's just get straight into it and talk about Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2, Episode 18 today. We have to say goodbye to a GOAT. So as our episode begins today, after that wild episode last week, when I say this episode begins somberly, I am not joking, as we just see Yuji walking. No talking, no dialogue, well, dialogue, but he's not talking, he's just walking. With the words of everything he's learned, everyone he's met, everything he's been through, flooding through his mind right now. Yuji is in a bad state. But we'll come back to Yuji, guys, because it's here. We transition to NANAMI, as we just see him slowly walking across the beach, smiling, as we see what his ideal place to be would be. But as we transition back to the real world, he's not in good shape. As he walks past this, I assume, photo machine that has Mahito just chilling in it for some reason. Whatever. And it's here as Mahito reaches his destination in his dream and in real life. We see he's just surrounded by cursed spirits. As he says, Malaysia. Yeah, Malaysia. Content would be good too. I'll build a home on a secluded beach. I already have a mountain of books that I've bought and never touched. I'll read through them page by page, like I'm taking back all the time I lost. As he tells himself, damn it, no, right now, I gotta save Fushiguro. And Maki. And then what about Naoto? What happened to those two? As he says, I'm tired. Exhausted even. I've already done enough. But even though he says that, NANAMI continues to fight here. Exhausted, on the brink of death, NANAMI continues to fight over and over again. Thoughts of his dream keeping him going. Cursed spirits hitting him left and right. He still keeps going. And I'll tell you guys right now, this is the scene that made me start crying. I'm getting emotional now again. But NANAMI does not stop. He throws everything he has here, taking out every cursed spirit he can. All with thoughts of a better life in his mind. And it's here through all the odds, NANAMI takes them all out. As he suddenly stops and says, "You're here?" As we hear, "I've been here the whole time." And as we see Yuji rounding the corner here, we see he sees their conversation. As we hear, "Shall we chat for a bit? You and I have gone at it a few times after all." And it's here, NANAMI knows what's going to happen. As he starts thinking, Habara, what was I even hoping to accomplish in the end? I ran away, and yet I came back over some vague reason like a job worth doing. As we hear, I can't. That's wrong. I can't, Habarai. I can't say that. It'll just become a curse upon him. And it's here Habarai just points at Yuji, who they're talking about, basically saying, you have to. As you can see the realization on NANAMI's face as he says, I shouldn't. But with that final push from Habarai, NANAMI knows what he has to do. As he says, Itadori, you take it from here. As Mahito blows his entire torso off right here, killing Nanami. And Yuji is shocked. What a fucking bloodbath. You know what's funny here, guys? Man, I actually am crying. Not necessarily funny, but I've noticed over the course of Jujutsu Kaisen, Nanami feels more like Yuji's teacher than someone like Gojo. That's what I've noticed. Nanami feels more like Yuji's teacher, where Gojo feels more like Megami's teacher. Like, obviously, they're all Gojo students, those three, but Yuji just feels closer to Nanami. So this hurts even more. As Yuji screams, "What the hell are you, Mahito?" As Mahito just laughs. And as Yuji charges forward, he's furious, but you can quickly tell on his face that anger turns to sadness, which makes this even hurt more. As Mahito puts up a giant wall between them that Yuji can't take out because he used humans to do it. But as the wall itself attacks him, we don't have the time to hesitate. Because it's here as Mahito attacks again, he's actually inside of the spirit as he uses it to punch Yuji and send him flying. As we see, he's using all these quirky attacks on Yuji. As he says, "If only I'd used a little more force. I could have stabbed through your face." As we see, Yuji has a huge gash on his head. As he asks Mahito, "How can you possibly toy with countless people's lives over and over?" As Mahito laughs in his face and says, "Would you be satisfied if I counted each one off my fingers?" with a look of regret. "Don't worry, I'll start doing that with the next one. I'll grant you a simple answer since you're such a simple guy." As this fucker conjures up Junpei, stabs him in the head and says, "You are me, Itadori." Yuji's pissed. As Mahito says, "And until you're willing to accept that, you can't beat me." As Yuji says, "You sure talk a lot. Are those your dying words?" And it's here as he thinks about what Nanami just told him. I love how Yuji handles this as he says, "No, Nanamin would never make the mistake of losing himself to anger." As we hear Nanami's words from back then, "Prove it, because you are a Jujutsu sorcerer." And it's here our fight begins in earnest. And while I won't say this fight is better than the Choso one, because it's not, still the best fight this season in my opinion, this fight is very well done. As we see Yuji and Mahito slowly walking towards each other, Mahito making the cursed spirit push them closer and closer into the wall, encroaching their space. But it's here as Mahito attacks him, he misses in this closed space, and Yuji kicks the shit out of him, rocking him. As he kicks this wall of cursed flesh, pushing it back to give them more space. And it's here Mahito's trying everything to get Yuji, with neither of them really being able to land a definitive good blow on each other. As we see the wall encloses so much that it looks like they're both crushed here. As we suddenly see the wall explode on two parts, and they both walk out. As Mahito says, "Nice, let's keep going. It's time for round 2. And it's here as their fight continues. I will say, Mahito has some very creative techniques because of his ability. As he's fighting Yuji at a distance here with these little cursed spirit bullets. As Yuji's trying to slow him down, but it's not doing much. As we see just how strong Mahito really is. As much as I don't like this man, he is a beast. And it's here we see Yuji escape to the elevator. But that's exactly what Mahito wanted. As Yuji knows, he's coming. As he sends a giant fist through the ceiling of the elevator, which Yuji blocks with his own. And as our elevator starts falling, they start fighting inside of it. As this weirdo uses his lips as a fucking sword here, but misses. As we see Yuji ends up jumping out of the elevator. Only to see a giant cursed spirit come rushing back up from below. As he just narrowly gets out of there in time. As Mahito comes back up and shoots another cursed spirit bullet at Yuji, only for him to hit it back. And it's here our round 3 starts, and Yuji's more than ready. And it's here Mahito thinks, if I pick the wrong moment to take risks, I'll die. I guess I'll attack mostly with transfigured humans for a while. And as he runs away and Yuji has to chase after him, all of a sudden, he sees 2 people here. And I'm sitting here like, Yuji, you can't fall for that. Come on, you can't fall for that. But this man does fall for it. And because of it, he gets socked right in the face by Mahito. As we see Mahito hit one and then turns the other into a sword as he says, "You sure your imagination isn't stunted, Yuji?" As Yuji tells him, "Stop it." And he says, "That all depends on you." As he thinks, this is the most effective tool against Itadori's mental state. Plus, we have one more card for insurance. And it's here as we transition to our next scene. We see that with the help of Dagon, they actually took in a bunch of humans that were on this level to use as decoys. As Mahito says, "Alright, now it's time to recommence the Let's Kill Itadori show." As he tells Jogo, "Catch me if you can," because remember, they had a competition. And as he runs off, we see he splits himself into 2, as he says, "I'll take the underground. You wander around the surface." As we see they both run off to do their own thing. And it's here as we transition to the second Mahito. We see he's found his target. As we hear, "You saw that fight from earlier through the city, right? Shit was crazy. I was just wandering around that area not long ago, too. That could have been messy." As we hear Patchface, "Was it you? Are you the special grade cursed spirit that's been messing with our idiot?" As we see he's found Nobara. As Mahito says, "Aw, shucks, am I famous?" She tells him, "Yeah, I heard you ran away with your tail between your legs." As Mahito says, "Oh, I like you. You seem worth killing." As Nobara tells him, "I haven't had any good chances to shine today." That's an understatement. She really hasn't done shit, honestly. As she thinks, they said this thing's technique has something to do with souls. And not to let its hands touch me, right? So I'll have to settle for exercising a cowardly bug like you. As she thinks, recall it. Recall the essence of cursed energy that you seized back then. And it's here she makes the sign above him fall. She kicks her nails into it with her feet with a drop kick. As she says, hairpin. And actually does a pretty good hit on Mahito. As he tells her, not bad. But in general, that won't work on me. As he thinks, judging from what she said, she must be close to Itadori. I'll drag this woman's corpse before Yuji Itadori and break his soul. And on that note, our episode ends. R.I.P. to NANAMI, guys. I can't say I didn't think we were going to get huge deaths in this arc. I kind of did. But fuck, NANAMI. Makes sense, honestly. He's a great character to kill off. To have impact. What? Fuck, man. I love NANAMI! I should have known when they gave him moments to shine earlier in the arc. I should have fucking known. God damn it. Jujutsu Kaisen loves to rip your heart out, man. Fuck. And now he's with Nobara? Jesus. What's gonna happen, I wonder? Jujutsu Kaisen's crazy yet again, and I can't wait to see where we go from here. I would like to think our big spectacles are done, but who knows, honestly. There could be even more for all I know. So, let me know your thoughts on this episode down in the comments. It's a fucking sad one. But until next time, I hope you all have a great day, week, month, and year. And until then, deuces, have a blessed day, and I'll see you guys next time. Deuces.